I'm back. So I haven't talked in like 4 years. But Scrolls has kind of been coming back, or Caller's Bane has been coming back. So I've been kind of wanting to get back into making videos and streaming, especially streaming actually. So Weiler 5000, I don't know the number. Weiler's been making a casual league tournament lately that I've been participating in. I'd originally actually streamed myself doing these videos, and I'd cut them up, but when I uploaded them, I got hit by Content ID. YouTube had some options to get rid of the audio with music in the background. I tried that, and the audio, it was unlistenable. Sometimes I would sound like I'm being muffled. Sometimes I would sound like I was screaming, and you just hear all this loud, obnoxious audio where it's just kind of buzzy. Just bad. So I figured I would just redub over them, but dubbing over it seems kind of useless because I could just look at the replay and tell you what I'm thinking, and you could actually see what's happening. I'd played 2 matches before this. I played Overlord and Firefox Gum. They both won. And this was the first one I started to record. I think I streamed both of them, or at least I'm pretty sure I streamed Overlord's. So I'm 0-2 right now. I've won, I think, 1 game against Overlord, and that's it. So I'm about to play Tzunami, whose name I figured out well after I'd been mispronouncing it horribly this entire series. So with that intro out of the way and explaining why this is a replay, not the game, give me a heads up. This is the first time I've ever done any post-match commentary, so we'll see how it goes. But yeah, just tell me if you like it, tell me if you don't. And it's good to be back. I guess let's let him go, and I'll explain what I think is happening. So I mean, as you can tell, he's playing a Yolo Decay deck. Right now, all I know is he's playing Decay. I think I assumed it was a poison deck because most Decay is going to be standard humans, poison, mid-range Decay, and I'm playing my late game Decay deck. So it's kind of based off of Blight Seed, Sleep Moratorium. I sacrificed a Nuru if you go back one step. So big plays, mid to late game plays, and just ramping up quickly is kind of the idea there. And this is clearly a YOLO deck. So his first move is to play a Boghound. That Boghound, I remember that thing already throwing me for a loop. So at this point, I'm like, okay, there's something aggro. He's playing Undead was my first thought. But I have a pretty good curve. I mean, if you look, I've got a turn 2 play, turn 3, 4, 5. I've got some controls. So I feel like, okay, I'll go here. If he wants to be aggro, he can be aggro, and I can split and go down, or I can play like pretend I'm playing Undead, depending on if I start getting a really good draw. So I feel fairly confident in this game. I actually moved down. I lied. I don't remember what I did that well. I edited the videos. I didn't memorize my moves. So he's playing fairly normal things. This Muto fighter was very confusing. Just because no one plays Muto fighter. It's a 4-2, and he's playing it against Decay. So my first thought, he's playing Muto fighter Decay. I'm probably going to top deck a Soul Steel. But I'm moving away because he's got a better board. But at the same time, I can stick it out. And my thought process here is just go for it. I think I'll be fine. He's got to deal some damage. So I figure I have 3 turns, right? I have Boghound attacking, hitting this. Muto Fighter kills this. And then I have to wait till the Harvester gets hit. But I'm probably playing creatures. So I have lots of time to get a Soul Steal. Unfortunately, he has an Essence Garb. And that was probably a bad play overall because, he has a Soul Steal. So probably just putting the Harvester on the bottom would have been a better play. But hindsight's always 20/20. So regardless, get rid of the Shroud of Unlife for resources and play that Flesh Animator on the bottom. Guarantee I've got a board. His board is split, so I think this is all fairly reasonable. And at this point, he's going to play, I think, he played the Forbidden Ruins, which I don't even remember what it does. But it, non-combat damage to idols. So he's definitely playing some kind of weird deck. I think I assumed it was Nerp's Yolo Decay deck, which I'm pretty sure it's actually Blinky's. But point remains, Yolo Decay, I got the deck type right. So at this point, I have an idea of what I'm playing against. And I was right. I got the Soul Steal before this thing attacked a second time. So I might have gotten some things wrong, but my guess was correct. And I'm just staying back here. This Meyer Shambler with the Flesh Animator attacking has got control of these squares, and this guy's there, but it doesn't matter. Soul Steal, get rid of it. And at this point, I mean, it's round 6. He's playing an aggro deck. He's slightly better in board control, but not that bad. So I'm actually feeling fairly confident. And I think, yeah, so pop the Brain Lice and keep on going. I'm just sort of trying to maintain some kind of board presence, put him under some pressure, and just see what happens. Just make sure I'm good. So at this point, he invests a Regeniture, I think, if I remember right. Yeah, so he does Gravelock, Regeniture. Gravelock again, I'm wondering what the hell is going on. And also, he's dealt more Yolo damage to himself than he has to me, so that's good. This Hex Marks is a card that I never see run, so it's kind of scary to run against. And I think this is a fairly decent misplay. I popped the Languid on the Ripper, which I think is a good call. And this next bit, I'm not a big fan of. I unbind this. I think a better play would have been to Languid the other thing that I forget what it's the 2/3 that he'd put all the enchantments on. My thought process was he's invested so much into it, it's not good. I think if I'd Soul Stealed the Ripper and then unbinded it or Languided it, it would have been useless for the next few turns, or not very effective anyway, and it would have died of the poison anyway. He would have gotten 1 damage out of it, and I wouldn't have used one of my stronger removal cards. Damning Curse obviously is good to have, and I've got 2 of them in this deck, but I don't love that decision. That being said, I can move down now and at least threaten his row, even if he's not going to use it, but obviously that doesn't matter because he's going to pop it off. But even still, he doesn't have much of a board. He has the center idol controlled with the Infested Gravelock, but even that's not the biggest deal, and it definitely isn't a big deal anymore. I realize that I could have played the Urva, I could have played the Anima Conduit, but I always prefer playing Urva like a spell that is also kind of nice to have on the board afterwards, and the Anima Conduit isn't going to do much if there's nothing else on the board. I would rather have creatures counting down and giving me board presence later on. So that was the thought process between that move, which is definitely a weird move, but I think looking back on it was the right one. I mean, he's in a tempo deck, or aggro deck, so fills up the board. Once again, this is still a really comfortable position. I've got a fairly decent card advantage. The board is not even. I'm definitely behind on board presence, but it's really playable. Yeah, now it seems reasonable to get the Anima Conduit out. I want to maintain a board. I'm thinking stuff like Pack Husk next turn and just getting some beefy cards out. And yeah, so Harvester on the bottom row, and you can tell at this point he's kind of moving in such a way where he's doing, I mean, I'll end up in this situation a lot with Undead, right? You want to control half of the board. You want to control half and get that center idol and then just play 2 separate games. So you have an overwhelming board presence on the bottom. I have an overwhelming board presence on the top, but I can't move down. You already control the center idol, so you're going to win. And with an aggro deck, you just need to maintain that control just long enough. So yeah, we're going for scrolls, just getting big things out. I think I played the Harvester just because I know something's going to die. And it's okay if he kills the Shambler. It's a Shambler. They're meant to die, and I'll get Anima Conduit going off. So, I mean, I want to make trades, right? I'm a late game deck. The smaller the board is, the easier it is for me to come back. That's how you're going to stabilize the position. So with that in mind, that Hex Marks is a really good move. When I mean, mentioning earlier, he wants to control this half and get that center idol. Mission complete, right? You get the center idol, and my Shambler is dead. So, almost misclicked. So, smart play there. I remember thinking that his movement was really weird. If I were him, I would have moved this Ripper back here or something else. But I think mostly just moving the Ripper back, because obviously I'm not going to run Pother. And there's really no reason for me to worry about, or for him to, yeah, there's nothing that this is going to do here that it can't do here other than not give him anything for the Rot Eater otherwise. that being said, I mean, if I get a Soul Steal, I'm going to kill one of these two things. And, I mean, maybe if I give it a Revenant, I'll kill this because it's useless. But maybe he wants me to kill it, so that could be some kind of justification. Whereas at the time, and even now, I still think that's a weird move, and I'm not the biggest fan of it. But so I win the 50-50 with the Revenant. I definitely want it to spawn here because it's better here. And this turn was a misplay. So I sacrificed for resources. I wish I could go back, but I can't go back. So I am about to play. It's out of 7. Maybe this isn't the turn. No, it's not the turn yet. Never mind. Yeah. Languid. I stand by that Languid. It's gonna put it down to 1. And let's see what I don't remember what I did next. I don't think I Urva. Did I Damning Curse? I think maybe I Damning Cursed. I don't know. We'll find out. And Urva. And I think what I should have done, I don't think the Damning Curse. I remember the Damning Curse Unbind being possible. I think this replay might be glitch, and I'll check the video and put that in if that is the case. But I remember Damning Curse Unbind being a play that I thought I should have done about a move earlier, because this just, I mean, this thing is, the Harvester is threatening me. The Rat Eater is still there. I do have the Unbind, so I can get rid of it whenever I want, but it's not a comfortable place to be in. And I could have come up with a way to trigger the Harvester, for example, I think. So I just don't think that's the wisest decision. Regardless, yeah. So Soul Steal's his own guy, and now I'm in trouble. So Harvester goes off. He plays the Hex Marks, and we have... I'm in danger. Straight up. This isn't great. And I think this is where this is the big misplay. So I think this was the turn where I looked at it and I thought, I thought I should Unbind and Damning Curse. So Unbind the Hex Marks, Damning Curse, the Harvester, take out the center idol. So here, let me get this thing drawn up because I got that fancy OBS thing. So Harvester goes down. Revenant goes here and takes you out, and then I Unbind the Rat Eater and Damning Curse the Harvester just to get it out of here, and because 3 units are about to die, so suddenly I'm in the danger zone again. Instead, well, you'll see what I do, and I'll explain why I did it, but it's definitely a misplay. So the idea of the Blight Seed is I want to be able to threaten this row with my Harvester, but obviously the Harvester is going to attack now. I don't want that. So if I Blight Seed it, it can move down. It's not attacking this turn, but I know for sure it's attacking next turn because this Revenant's about to take you out and we're about to see a trade. And then I think right when I did that, I realized, well, that was stupid. Now I can't play the Damning Curse Unbind like I was planning on. So I just completely forgot how to do math. So I've got to compensate for it, and I play the Unbind to take out the Harvester, which is definitely the most dangerous thing. But he's shown he has God, what is it called? I run it in my undead deck too. But he has the thing that'll give him +1/+1 or +3/+3 depending on whether Dominion's active or not. He's shown he has that. He's shown he has, I think that's the big one. So I really should be playing more cautiously. And I'm still under the impression that he's playing an undead deck. I thought maybe it was the Idol Steal, but I'm about 50-50. So I was still thinking about Restless Bones. So honestly, I don't think this was a good play. And I said that at the start. But regardless, that's what I had to play with. So, that's what I ended up doing. But I still have a pretty scary looking board. Facing up against a Harvester going off, you don't really want to go to that top idol because now I'm moving down in these bottom 2 idols. The entire game is basically about can I control this bottom section from a disadvantage, but from a deck that's better suited for this kind of situation. So, at this point, he's top decking. He's going to do whatever he can. So, yeah, Essence Garb. I think this, I didn't know he had an Essence Garb in hand. I think he took out no, he did play it, yeah. So he takes out the idol, and the Earhart's Disciple goes there, which I think, I get it. I think it would have been smarter to take out this idol, but I get wanting, I I get wanting to keep this safe since the Harvester's going off. So actually, no, I think that was the right call, but I think killing the Harvester would have been smarter. I think that would have given him way more board control, and I mean, I'm on the back foot still. Like, he's got 6 health. This thing can bust through. I mean, he's got idle damage out the wazoo. You'll see at the end of the game, like, he can deal some idle damage in this deck. But now, I mean, the Blight Seed is, it's about to pay off now, so 10 resources I'm about to sacrifice up, and I have an awesome hand. Like, this is the turn that the game flips around, because suddenly Urva procs 3 times because the Harvester is going to attack twice, and Pack Husk goes off. So she comes here, and then I just play the Oblivion Seeker because I don't know, or I play that up top just because I don't know that for sure that this isn't an undead deck. So I'm thinking about Revenant shenanigans, and I have won many games on Revenant shenanigans. And you can just, like, I mean, Restless Bones and 3 Revenants, and you can take out an idol. Or 2 Revenants in an open lane, and next turn you just play Baleful Witch, God. Loyal Darkling, and you just can win when you have no right to do so. So you've got to keep your guard up for that kind of stuff. And he hasn't shown Restless Bones, but it wouldn't be horribly out of place in this deck. And honestly, I don't know this deck. I found Blinky's video on it pretty soon right afterwards, and I'm going to link it because I'm 99% sure that's the right deck that I was playing against. And it's an interesting deck, and I think with a few different plays this could have worked out. But yeah, I thought I was playing against Undead, so that's what the Oblivion Seeker up top rather than like protecting the Urva or protecting the weaker idol was doing. So, I mean, we got a lane. I mean, at this point, it's impossible not to be feeling good. I've got to win fast because he's shown the witches and stuff, or darklings and stuff, but regardless, I'm still looking good. So, I mean, dump your hand out, play that Mire, and the Eris Disciple just get stuff going. Makes sense. I probably would have only played the Earhart's Disciple, but that's because I want to have a card in my hand I want to be able to consistently sacrifice for scrolls, because I don't want to draw the 1 Loyal Darkling and then have to decide, well, do I sacrifice for it and slow down getting future Loyal Darklings, or do I just go for it? So I would have held on to the Mire and played the Disciple, because the Disciple is guaranteed idle damage if it attacks. Or not guaranteed. So the Disciple will probably get idle damage. The Mire is just, I mean, it's a good lane blocker. It's in the right spot for that, but you're not at the point where you can hope I'm going to. I mean, you're hoping in this case. Either way you're hoping, but I think the Mire doesn't give you as good of chances. That might be a personal decision, and if somebody disagrees with me, like, definitely tell me, because I'm curious what your opinion on this play is, because I think this one is. I think it's questionable. I like having at least 1 card in my hand to sacrifice, but I mean, also having 5 extra health in a row means that if the Harvester somehow goes off, it's not going to go off. It's not going to kill everything, but I can't see how the Harvester would go off anyway. So, yeah. So that's an interesting thing to see. And then now, I mean, sacrifice for scrolls, whatever. And at this point, I'm just saying, okay, I don't want anything to attack. I got control, but I have 6 idle health, so I'm just going to be the biggest jerk you've ever seen. So languid that thing. I probably should have languided the Mire, and just pop it off. It's going to deal idle damage. We don't need that. It doesn't need to be on the board. Control that idle, control that lane, and yeah. I mean, you can see I'm clearly focusing more here, but you'd have to have 3 evidence, and that's literally impossible because he has no cards in his hand. So yeah, pop the Boghound, and Wicked Being, so needs 2 more of these to win. Or Near Heart's Disciple to go off. So plays that. Wicked Being is reasonable. I think that's actually a reasonable play this time because you have a hope of getting the Mire to proc. So go for scrolls, and here I think I should have damage cursed the Eris Disciple. I don't know if I'm gonna do that or not. Instead, I damage curse the Mire because the Mire is big and scary. I think that's a misplay. I don't think it's a huge misplay, but it's a small mistake. Because I don't care if the pack husk dies. I don't care if Urva dies. I don't even care if this harvester dies, as long as something stays alive. Probably at most. I mean, he only has 5 resources, so he gets a soul steal, takes out the pack husk, which kills Urva, or he kills the harvester and the pack husk, and Urva's still alive. But like, that's way less important than keeping this idol around, especially because he just played a damn wicked being. I should be really cautious with the idols. Because, I mean, he's got 12 indirect idol damage per deck cycle, right? 2 witches and 2 darklings and 2 wicked, or 3 darklings, 3 wicked beings, plus, I mean, we saw the, some other idol damage, the idol damage lingering spell that increases all idol damage. So, I mean, that brings that 12 damage up to, what, 18? And, I mean, that's almost enough to kill 2 of my idols, so definitely something I should be more cautious about, I think. Yeah, so he gets the Dark Leaning, plays it, and that's kind of why I was saying if you'd held onto the Mire Mirror, maybe you would have done something, but maybe I also would have damning cursed this instead. So, I don't know for sure. I also think that this is just bad placement. You should be swapping these 2 out, right? So you want the Darkling in front because the Darkling, you want the Darkling to die, especially now because you've got 10 cards left in your deck, so you're about to cycle. And you want this to attack because, I mean, you still want to kill my stuff. You're still going to get more board presence if this thing gets to attack and this thing dies. So I think that's definitely just a misplay, but also you're probably feeling demoralized. So that's me letting 1 idol damage by that I shouldn't have. And at this point, I see 3 Restless Bones, and there is a lethal. So I took a little while to find the lethal. Obviously, replays make everyone that finds lethal look way smarter than they are. But, I mean, 3 Restless Bones, Urva's going to attack 1,000 times. This thing's going to deal 8 damage, and it's a pretty clean lethal. But I didn't actually... So I should point out, I didn't actually calculate whether or not this would die. I didn't even notice the Wicked Being. I just forgot about it. So if that Earhart's Disciple had gotten to attack one more time or one more thing, I probably would have killed myself. But that was... So it was a closer first game than it looked like, but overall, pretty damn solid play on his part. Just a few small misplays. And it's also nice because every other casual league game I'd lost, so I felt good just be like, okay, I'm playing my deck, I'm playing my favorite deck right now, and we're doing good. So that's kind of what's going through my head. Give me a heads up if you like this thing. I'm definitely going to dub over the second one, and I mean, if you guys want me to, I could even go try to find my my other casual league matches and do some review of those. Again, this is the first time I've done anything like this. So if you liked it, give me a heads up. If you thought it was bad, give me a heads up. I'm probably going to... I mean, regardless, I'm going to make more videos of me playing the game, but I'm curious what you think about some post commentary. But yeah, thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys later.